Oh, hey. Welcome to my gun channel. And today we're going to be talking about guns. So, let's get into it. Hey, what's going on, guys? So, this is the channel I made to, educate people that maybe want to get into guns, or get a little bit more knowledge on how to use one, what kind of holsters to use, different types, what you should bring to the range for what kind of days, and stuff like that. So let's start off with the 4 safety rules that pretty much everybody follows by. I'm not gonna put them in order from 1 through 4, but these are the top 4, which is treat every gun as if it's loaded, even if it's not. Finger off the trigger, which is my biggest one. Do not point your firearm at anything that you are not willing to shoot or destroy. And the 4th and final one is, what the hell is it? Know what's in front of your target and what's behind your target. So with that being said, let's jump into the basics. So when I first started off with my first purchase of a firearm, it was a Ruger SR 9C, and at the time I didn't really know a whole lot about firearms, so I just kind of dived in. Growing up as a kid, I used to go hunting with my dad, and he used to give me this little single shot shotgun 20 gauge whenever we go hunting for doves and pheasants during dove season down in Isleta. And that's basically where I started learning how to use a firearm. Also with his little 22 rifle. It's a pretty nice learning experience. And that's pretty much my history of using guns. But as soon as I turned 21, I went to the sheriff's office for the Chelan County. I went to go do get my concealed carry license. Do the whole process. It only takes like maybe 30 minutes. They give you a pamphlet. It's probably like 2-3 pages that you fill out. Let them know about your background history, make sure you don't have any felonies or, misdemeanors and stuff like that. Do that. They take you into the back room to go get your fingerprints, so that way they can identify you. And, within that same time, I went to the local gun shop, purchased my very first Ruger SR 9C, which is a subcompact pistol. So then shortly after that, I started basically self-training, which only got me so far. Then one day I saw this, firearms training that was recommended to me by a friend. And the person that did the firearm training, his name is Kevin Williams, and he runs a firearms training course for people, and his company name is Full Spectrum Training and Consulting, which is really good for the money. He throws you through an 8-hour class of whatever kind of firearms training that you need. He has beginning classes all the way to advanced classes, even some for like Leos and military type stuff. But anyway, so I took his first class, which was Pistol 1. I learned a lot about it, and I learned a lot of how to implicate my firearms training. And from what I self-taught to what I was learning in that class was 2 completely different spectrums. And ever since then, it's just opened my mind to the different applications that I could use my firearm for. And then So I started doing a lot of training with that. Shortly afterwards, I got to go to another class in Marysville, which was shooting in and around vehicles, which was really nice. And that class even opened up my mind even further into the firearms spectrum. And with that one, you're training with both pistol and rifle, which was pretty awesome. And learning those two classes within approximately a 2-year time frame has just expanded my mind tremendously to how to manipulate firearms and learning about how to clear jams and stuff like that. What every firearms instructor calls the manual of arms. And that's pretty much all of my experience with firearms. Training, different types of drills, and different exposures that I got to be exposed to. Let's go into Hearing Pro. So what I mean by Hearing Pro is hearing protection, which these right here, these are some Walker hearing protection. They're really nice and comfortable. They have these nice little plastic padding on the inside. Anytime you go to a range, I definitely encourage you to use hearing protection, or Hearing Pro as I say, because firearms are loud, and the decibels that put off from discharging a firearm could permanently damage your ears, and I definitely don't recommend damaged ears. Already have one. I got it tested, and the lady that told me that my left ear is basically the ear of a 57-year-old, old man. But this one's still pretty good. So, again, Hearing Pro. Prolong your hearing so that way you can, understand people at a normal level. The next one I would suggest is eye protection, eye pro. Any kind of eye protection that you can buy at your, logo, hardware store, anything like that. Make sure it's not glass, always plastic, because if ricochet were to hit glass, the glass would shatter into your eyes, and that's not good for you. So definitely plastic glasses. They have some glasses that are made for firearms, but again, any kind of hardware, plastic glasses should do just fine. The next one is your firearm and the holster that you use with your firearm. So this holster right here is a Safariland. Safariland is a pretty reputable company when it comes to holsters. A lot of police enforcement officers, Leo military, some of them do use Safariland, and they're really good when it comes to making sure that when your gun is in the holster, that it's not able to come out, and someone also isn't able to rip the holster away from you. So when it comes to heavy duty stuff like that, they're definitely great for it. This kind of holster right here is an outside the waistband holster, which comes with what I call a QD mount, and all QD stands for is quick disconnect, which is super nice because you can just buy the female versions, put them on whatever setup you have, and clip it on, take it off, whatever, which is super nice. And then you also have your inside the waistband holsters. So this one right here is the inside the waistband holster. This one is made by T-Rex Arms. I definitely like their holsters. I feel like they're a pretty reputable company. The guy also has a gun channel that I follow too, because when I see certain gun channels, I can tell, but well, I don't want to say I can tell, but what I get from the people that are doing the the firearms channels is that when I watch them and I see them, I watch for the way that they handle firearms and everything, and due to my background and practice of firearms training, seeing that from another person and knowing that they're what's the word? Damn it. what's the word for competent? There we go. Knowing that a person is competent with their firearm, they know how to do the manual of arms and everything like that. When I see people like that, it definitely makes me want to watch their content more to see what kind of stuff, what kind of innovative things that they're doing with their company, and also, different types of ways of training, which I always like doing. So, T-Rex Arms, they make some really good holsters. This one's an appendix carry. There's a bunch of different other holsters out there for, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock position, but I chose appendix carry because I like it right in front of me where I can get to it easily. I tried behind the back at the 6 o'clock position, but I don't like that I can't see it, and every single time, like in my conscious, it's like it's printing on the back. And for those of you that don't know what printing is, it's basically when you have your firearm inside your holster and you have a piece of clothing over it. For all my concealed carriers, the gun will protrude out, and the butt of the gun will be showing basically an outer lining on your shirt that it's there. So printing isn't necessarily a good thing when it comes to concealed carry. You want to be as inconspicuous as possible. But anyway, so that's the T-Rex arm holster. Comes with a magazine holster as well attached with it. Really nice. And then the next thing is your firearm. So this one right here is a Glock 17. Make sure that it's unloaded. You check, magazine's clear. And this was the second firearm that I bought. And ever since I got it, it's just been, it works reliably. And some say that it's so reliable it's boring, but again, when you are concealed carrying, what it comes down to is the reliability aspect. And you definitely don't want a firearm to fail on you, should your life depend on it. So there's a couple of things that I've done to this pistol, which is added different types of sights. These sights are called XD sights, and the way they line up is you have the little dot on top, and you have this little line at the back, and all you do is basically dot the eye. So however low you want the the dot on the eye to look is where the bullet is going to impact. These ones come with tritium sights. They're really nice, and they glow really well in the dark, so that way you can see in the dark, you can know where you're aiming and stuff like that. The next thing I did was I upgraded the trigger, because as I got used to firearms manipulations and everything like that, I noticed that the trigger was a little heavy. So I started experimenting with different types of triggers, and what I found was that the lighter the trigger is, thank you, son. The lighter the trigger is, the easier it is to pull, but also at the same time, some people might say that that is a hazard, but you take on that hazard knowing full well that, you know, it is your responsibility to make sure that this firearm doesn't discharge negligently. So that's the hazard that I take every single time that I use this weapon. I know that it's lighter. I know that it can be discharged, you know, with a lighter pull, and I'm okay with that. But that's what I take, so that way I know I have as much of an advantage when I'm defending myself, should I need to defend myself. So this is a Glock. I've practiced with this pistol quite a bit, and I recently started bringing my Ruger SR9C back into the picture with another holster made by Vetter Holsters. I'm still kind of testing it out, but there's a couple of things that I don't really like about it. But yeah. So one thing I would definitely recommend is all the training. Get that training repetitions in. And if you guys ever want to, you know, do some training, get some hands-on experience with firearms, you know, and repetitions and the manual of arms, definitely let me know. You know, I am definitely an advocate for, you know, protecting your life when it comes down to, you know, the bad and the ugly. You know, so this is just the intro video of, you know, what types of holsters there are, what different types of firearms that I use. Whatever firearm is your favorite, pick it, train with it. Train. You know, you can't get enough, because the old saying of if you don't use it, you lose it is actually true. I've, you know, over these few years that I've been taking these classes, I haven't gotten to do any firearms training over the winter, and I definitely can feel it in my muscle memory whenever I do, you know, re-up on my training. You know, I can see little rust, you know, and specks of dirt, you know, in my training that I need to revamp on. But hit me up. This is SWEN Arms and Training, and Greg here. Hit me up if you guys ever want to train. I would love to train with you guys, and if you guys are just starting out, I would love to help in training you in firearms manipulations. So see you later. Don't forget to subscribe. Peace.